Have you ever stopped to consider what truly holds the Detroit Lions back from becoming one of the most feared teams in the NFL? Despite having a high-powered offense with a capable quarterback and dynamic skilled players, the Lions have struggled to turn the corner when it comes to winning big games and competing for a Super Bowl. The main reason? The defense, particularly the pass rush, is still a major weakness. And this issue is not just a minor flaw, it's a glaring problem that must be addressed if the Lions ever hope to reach their full potential. Let's take a closer look at the current state of the Lions' defense, especially the pass rush. Aiden Hutchinson, the number 2 overall pick from the 2022 draft, has been a revelation since his arrival in Detroit. He's already proven himself to be one of the top edge rushers in the league. However, despite Hutchinson's impressive individual performances, the Lions' defense as a whole has still struggled to put consistent pressure on quarterbacks. The reality is that Hutchinson can't do it alone. While he's been fantastic, having one standout player on the edge doesn't create the kind of defensive pressure that wins games consistently. The lack of a strong pass rush was especially noticeable last season. Opposing quarterbacks often had more time in the pocket to make plays and find open receivers, which led to big plays down the field. The absence of a second threat on the line allowed teams to focus all their attention on Hutchinson, making it difficult for him to have the same kind of impact that we've seen from other elite pass rushers. This imbalance has not only hurt Detroit's defense, but has also prevented the team from closing out important games. Enter Marcus Davenport, who was brought in with the hope that he would provide some much-needed support for Hutchinson. But that gamble did not pay off. Davenport, who has had a history of injury concerns, was unable to stay healthy throughout the season. This meant that the Lions had to rely on a rotation of lesser-known players to try and fill the gap, none of whom were able to make the same kind of impact. What was expected to be a dynamic duo on the defensive line turned into a series of missed opportunities and unfulfilled potential. So, what's the solution for the Lions? With the 2025 season fast approaching, there are several routes that the team could take to fix their pass rush problem. The Lions have 3 clear options: invest heavily in a draft, target top free agents, or make a bold trade for an established pass rusher. Each option has its pros and cons, and the decision they make will have long-lasting consequences for the future of the franchise. Let's dive deeper into each possibility. First, the draft. Historically, the NFL draft has been a great way for teams to acquire young talent and build for the future. The Lions have shown they can develop players effectively, but there's a key issue with relying on the draft for an immediate solution. Rookies often take time to adjust to the NFL. While the Lions have had success with young players in the past, the team is now at a point where they need someone who can come in and make an impact right away. A rookie defensive end might develop into a star, but can the Lions afford to wait? Second, free agency. The Lions could look to make a splash in free agency, signing a proven pass rusher to bolster their defensive front. The market will likely feature some big names, including players like Chase Young and Danielle Hunter, both of whom are expected to be available. However, this approach is not without risks. Top pass rushers in free agency often come with hefty price tags, and the Lions would need to be willing to spend big to secure one of these players. Additionally, they will face stiff competition from other teams that are also looking to improve their pass rush. The reality is that signing a top-tier pass rusher through free agency could require a significant financial commitment, which could affect the team's cap space and their ability to address other roster needs. Finally, we have the trade route. While this option may seem more aggressive, it could prove to be the most impactful. If the Lions want to immediately improve their pass rush, they may need to explore trading for an established star. One player who has been generating buzz among analysts and fans alike is Trey Hendrickson, the pass rusher from the Cincinnati Bengals. Hendrickson has been one of the league's most consistent sack artists, finishing last season with 17.5 sacks, leading the entire NFL. What makes him even more intriguing is that he's entering the final year of his contract, which could make the Bengals more open to trading him to avoid losing him for nothing in free agency. A trade for Hendrickson could be exactly what the Lions need. Not only would he immediately add a second elite pass rusher to complement Hutchinson, but he would also bring a wealth of experience and leadership to the defensive line. Hendrickson's ability to generate pressure from the edge would make it much more difficult for opposing offenses to double-team Hutchinson, creating more opportunities for both players to wreak havoc. The Lions would no longer have to rely on a one-man pass rush. Hutchinson and Hendrickson could form one of the most feared duos in the NFL. However, acquiring a player of Hendrickson's caliber would not come cheap. The Lions would likely need to give up significant assets, such as draft picks or young players, to secure a trade. The question becomes whether Brad Holmes, the Lions' general manager, is willing to make such a bold move. Is this the right time to trade for a proven star and push the team into Super Bowl contention, or should the Lions focus on building through the draft and development? It's clear that no matter which route they choose, the Lions need to address their pass rush issue as soon as possible. The offense is in good shape, with Jared Goff continuing to improve and the skill positions stacked with talent. But without a consistent pass rush, the Lions will continue to fall short in critical moments. Teams with dominant defenses can shut down high-scoring offenses in the postseason, and if the Lions want to take that next step, they need to invest in a defensive line that can consistently pressure the quarterback. As we look ahead to the 2025 season, the Detroit Lions face an important crossroads. They have the potential to be a playoff contender, but without a strong pass rush, they will continue to be held back. The decision to trade for a player like Hendrickson, sign a top free agent, or rely on the draft will define the team's chances of success. This offseason is the perfect opportunity for the Lions to make a bold move and give their defense the boost it needs. And now we turn the conversation to you, Lions fans. What do you think? Should the team go all in and make a trade for Hendrickson or another elite pass rusher? Or should they focus on drafting a young player and building through the system? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this analysis and want to stay updated on everything happening with the Detroit Lions, be sure to leave a like, subscribe to Lions News Fan Report, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. We'll see you in the next video.